let's start. Congratulations on the album. How's it been received, and how's it doing sale wise? And
It's like having a baby and then not being able to, then leaving, letting the world have it and raise it. So it's hard for us to know other than it feels incredible to have this this work out there, and hopefully it's making friends and doing its thing. But it for us, it just feels incredible to have it out finally. We're not really sure what, aside from the amazing stuff, that you wrote about it and stuff, like we're getting, reviews coming in, it's hard to really know.
yeah, yeah. Because I've been giving it a re-listen again, and every time you listen to it, you hear different elements coming out all the time, and we obviously Mel and I think it was Mike Bennett who reviewed your live gig at Manchester. How did that gig go?
It was good. It was the first of our tour, so we were still shaking the cobwebs out of our brains, but it was good. It's amazing how long ago it seems like that was. It was just like 2.5 weeks ago.
So did you have a different experience in every city you went to? Was it eye-opening?
Yeah, it's incredible how different our show can be night to night. It's like a living kind of being in itself. At least I find that it's remarkable how different emotionally I can feel about each night in each city and each connection. But it was fantastic. I mean, we started the tour in Manchester, and I think we played for 90 minutes, which is a lot, I think, for people to take, and they were such a great audience, and were so, gracious to us. I think after that night we cut the set down a little bit just so we, spared some. We're going on pretty late, but it was a great kickoff to the tour, which overall was incredible for us.
Cool, cool. So tell us how you got the band together anyway. Because you've been going since, is it 2018 now? Or it may be earlier.
Yeah, it was about 2018 that we got the band together, and it was what happened was I'd known Peter for a long time, from the sort of streets of the Lower East Side in New York, playing shows and various bands and musical projects. Um, and then the Broadway show Hedwig came about, and Peter was the drummer on Hedwig, and then Michael was playing Hedwig. And so then they started rocking out because it's a full-on rock band. It's like a massive glam rock 70s style band. Um, and so they would rock out every night, and they developed a friendship that way. Then I later joined for the tail end of that Broadway run and the tour, which toured around the United States. Peter and I reconnected. We also rocked out every night in a fake band, albeit a very exciting, loud, outrageous fake band.
Yeah.
But still, we decided, why don't we make our own music? Because we're both songwriters and we've both been in a million bands before. I've played in Blondie for years, and I had a band called Daddy, and Peter's been in Morningwood and a million other bands. So, we said, yeah, let's do this. And we started coming up with these instrumental jams, which we did in Peter's studio. And we came up with a bunch of them, and they were great, but they were sort of lacking a key element, which turned out to be Michael's voice, as it turned out. We didn't know that, but Peter and Michael were having dinner together one night, and Peter played Mike some of the stuff that we were doing, and Mike graciously said, well, if you guys, don't have anything better, I could throw some lyrics on. Heck yeah. And then it turns out we were blown away by what was then created, which was a song called Love American Style from our first EP. And I remember hearing that and just thinking, wow, all of my expectations are well exceeded. This is really special and beautiful stuff that Mike has added to this sort of base that Peter and I had concocted.
Excellent, excellent. Your style is not the norm from the New York scene, which is quite refreshing. What's actually influenced your sound? You've got a very British kind of new wave sound, but in your own certain way.
Yeah, you stumped us there.
Peter, you go.
Oh shit. No, I think Matt, we're influenced by so much. Oh shit. You can't even. You stumped us. No,
I mean, question last time.
We're sort of more. I would say we do have a New York sound in terms of sonic youth and that dissonance and noisy energy, as well as the Velvet Underground and their energy. You know, we do like to invoke those things, which are so New York. But in terms of bands like The Strokes, you know, we don't really sound like The Strokes a whole lot. We are pretty cute, though. I mean, as you can tell.
But yeah, we are definitely influenced by tons of music coming out of the UK and Manchester in particular, and that beautiful moment with the factory and those just irresistible songs coming out of that scene. And yeah, I mean, we've been around the block a bunch of times, so we all love Black Sabbath. You know, we all love the heavier things coming out of England. I'm a massive Beatles fan and Ringo Starr fan, and I think we just can't avoid being influenced by the incredible music coming out of the UK over the years.
Yeah, I can see that. You've got a lot of elements in there, but you've actually made the sound your own. You've got, to me, it's like a modern uptake of the new wave scene. You're bringing it forward again.
Love that.
Question for you, Matt. What's the big difference from touring with Blondie with your own band? Is it refreshing?
I'd say there's a lot more zip lines with Blondie, where they sort of attach us to zip lines and we fly around the stage. But I think that it's just a lot more fulfilling to be able to play these songs that we all co-wrote together. And yeah, I would say it's a very fulfilling experience, you know, because it's something we've all created, and to have that ownership and the creativity involved is incredible.
Yeah, is there any different kind of buzz? Is the buzz different from when you go on stage with a band that have been going for decades? And
sorry, did you say is the boss, or what did you
the
say?
buzz, the buzz as
Like
in
BUZZ.
Oh, the buzz.
yeah,
Oh, you mean like the high one gets on stage, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think there's an element of the unknown. You know, whenever we go on stage, it's a little bit more like, what is going to happen? How are these people going to receive us? Because we are a newer band, and that's very exciting to me, you know?
Yeah.
Different buzz, for sure.
Oh, brilliant. Question for Pete now. You've transitioned from playing drums in early bands, loads of bands, and Natalie Merchant, for instance, you've been on loads. What's it like being in a great trio?
Oh, I love the three-piece. Kind of just once you settle into a three-piece, Mike likes to say we're like a three-legged stool. It's really nice triangle shape kind of, and it keeps the personality juggling a lot more manageable, and I don't know, I think a three-piece is the ultimate shape, the ultimate you know, it's great to have more people too, but for us, it really works. And yeah, I love it. It's the smallest band I've ever been in, and it's hard to go back to being in something bigger.
Yeah, well, you don't
I
actually sound
absolutely love
like
it.
you don't actually sound like a three piece on record. You sound like it's a big grand statement with what you're doing, especially with the keyboard effects, and you've even started adding loads of guitar in there, and it's evolving.
Yeah, and it becomes, you know, more of a puzzle to figure out how to translate it to a live show. But you know, we've been working on it, and like as Matt said, it's, you know, it is a different experience every night and different every night. So we keep working on the live show like it's a living body, a living thing, and we're just trying to tap into it and channel it on a nightly basis. But yeah, we're having fun with it.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. The band name, from Princess Goes to the Museum, shortened down to Princess Goes. What was the reason?
It was
Mike,
a
you got this.
mouthful, man. It was a mouthful. It was and I mean there's a combination of things. It would if you held your phone vertically and you looked up the band, it would often be abbreviated to Princess Goes to the Butt, which is fine, but it's not exactly what we were intending. Um, and it was just it was a mouthful. I mean, and also, you know, shortening it to Princess Goes doesn't prevent her from going to the Butterfly Museum. She can just go anywhere else she might want to go as well. And we didn't want to, as wonderful as the Butterfly Museum is, confine her to that one destination. So
So
just kind of
basically, she can go where she wants now.
that's right. We wanted to liberate her itinerary.
I've noticed that you've got songs like Jetpack, which I was listening to on the way home actually, just to get a bit of a refresher on it. And it's got very, very Black Star Bowie tones to it. Have you influenced by that album, considering what you've done on stage?
Yeah. I mean, I love that album, and you know, the time that album coincided with the time that I collaborated with um, Bowie. I mean, collaborated with him, played a part in a musical that featured his music. He was around, and so that's a time in his creative life that I actually met him. So, and Tom Elmerhurst, who mixed that record, is actually the mixer who we first shared some of our music with. He mixed some of our tracks on our EP and introduced us to Brandon Boast, who works with him, who mixes for us. So there's a lot of sort of intermingling there, but you know, we definitely didn't consciously set out to make a Black Star esque track, but I guess it makes sense that that influence would be evident because, you know, it's hard to get away from
Yeah,
the influence of not just that record, but you know, Bowie as a sort of presence in any music musician or music lover of a certain age.
I think a music lover of every age will have
Yeah, true.
something in Bowie's career that they've liked, Bowie, or however anyone likes to say it.
Yeah, Bowie.
Another thing I've gone on about the 80s, and there's a track on your album called Beja, which I know is about the support on your tour. How did she do? Did she go
Oh,
down
she's
well?
amazing. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I look forward to the day when she won't even return our phone calls. She's she's
How
going
did
places.
how did she react to you when you played Beja live? Because it's
I
quite a
think she loved it. I think she was really touched. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And at the first show in Manchester, both her parents were there, both of whom are a little teeny bit invoked in the song. So I think they liked it.
Oh, excellent. Because to me, that's like one of the, how can I say, it's a big Simple Minds, U2, massive. It just sounds massive. And it was like it's a track on the album that just goes bang.
Oh, cool.
Love that. Thank you.
No, it is. It's a big song. It's like something you'd hear in a stadium, which you will be playing shortly if you carry on like you are.
Yeah, from your mouth. Yeah, it was really fun to play the shows in the UK with her opening, and just knowing that she was in the room. Also, I don't know if you remember the Beta Band. They were a big influence
Oh, I
on
love
that.
the date band. Steve Mason, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you hear that their DNA in there a little bit too, but they were in my mind a little bit when I first started working on that track back in the day.
Brilliant. Yeah, the Beta Band were really DIY. Some of the early stuff was very Pink Floyd, and then they got really experimental, like you had From Heroes to Zeros, and they made some great albums. And I can, thinking of it now, I can hear a bit of you in them. Cool. A couple more questions. That's it now, really. Are you looking forward to recording a new album shortly? Any plans?
Yeah. I mean, we haven't really thought about it. I feel like now that this one's out, maybe that's the the thing we were all waiting for. You know, I actually was thinking the other day, oh, I had an idea that I wanted to send around to Mike and Matt. And I was like, oh, is it too soon to do that? But no, I mean, I think since we've met and started collaborating the last 5 years, you know, we just kept that kind of ball rolling. And I think, yeah, I think very shortly we probably will get back into just, engaging each other again with ideas. But yeah, I had a new idea that I was thinking might work. But also I think we're at a place where it might be nice to think differently about how we make the next record. And maybe it is more, we do write and record and produce all of our own stuff in our own studio in downtown New York. So maybe it's time to jettison that and maybe go into the studio and collaborate with a different producer, get a different sound, and see if we can keep throwing people off with what we put out.
Yeah. What's the difference between the crowds over in England to America? Have you got a different reaction, or?
I mean, each collective room of people takes on its own personality. I don't know if there's a sort of distinct flavor to the personalities in each individual venue in the UK versus Europe versus the US. I don't know. I mean, there are some, I think some of the bigger cities or whatever, there's more of a sort of arms folded kind of vibe from people, but that's not really a US versus elsewhere thing as much as depending on the market or whatever, but that usually works itself out after a couple of songs. I don't know. I think I will say that the crowds were great over there. I mean, I think there's a real love of live music and an appreciation of stuff that's maybe unexpected, or I don't know what the adjective is, but yeah, I really I don't know. Somebody else say something.
The reason I ask that question is because a lot of British bands go over to the USA and they really struggle. It's a really hard market to crack. And yet a lot of American bands come over and they're absolutely loved over here because you've got this certain vibe. You don't come over across as cocky and, being over the top. You just do it and you're honest about it.
Cool. Well, I hope we fit that bill.
So is that it now? Have you finished your tour, obviously? Are you just gonna chill out for a bit now? or are you going to carry on doing a few more gigs?
We're going to play some gigs in December and January and on into the new year. They're not all sort of booked at this point, but yeah, we hope to continue to make visits to different places. Yeah.
Brilliant. Are you coming back to the UK any soon?
No definitive plans, but we definitely, I can't imagine we won't.
I'm sure you'll be welcome back. Anyway, that's it really. I've covered everything I can, and hopefully this will be recorded and it'll be up soon.
All right,
God, thank you
sweet.
so much for your support.
Thanks, Wayne.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
thanking
really
you for
appreciate
letting
it.
me interview you again. I was so embarrassed when I couldn't find it. It was like, oh no.
Oh, it's all right.
I think it was a painkillers.
No worries.
Nice speaking to
Love
you
talking
guys.
to you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Wayne.
No problem.
See ya.
Take it
Take
easy.
care.
Take care, Ben.
See you
Cheers,
later.
brother.